Hey everybody, it's Marcus here with Goodereader, and today we're looking at some of the applications that have come bundled with the Notion Ink Atom. We're one of the lucky ones to get the pre-order, and so we're going to take an in-depth look and open up each of the applications that have come with the Atom, and throughout the video we'll be providing our insights as well as software glitches, errors, our thoughts and opinions on what's good, what's bad, and everywhere in between. The purpose of this video is not to discourage anybody from buying an Atom, but we merely want to accurately portray it the way that we see it, and hopefully you guys can make up your own opinions on how you feel about it by the end. So you can see here that we have a lot of settings from wireless networks. We have the 3G Wi-Fi Pixel Qi model, and you can set up to your mobile networks, view all the details there. Only connect up to 2G to save battery, set up roaming, your network operators and everything like that. Also, you can do about the Atom and check out the Android number, model number, everything like that. You can update it here, but there really isn't any push updates out right now. With time, hopefully that there is. When you first get your Atom, it's probably set to 2009. That makes some apps not work, such as Facebook and email. Once you change the time here, you'll be able to fix that. Okay, next we have messaging app. It's pretty redundant. You can send a message to somebody, an email address, or as an instant message to somebody's phone. You have your web browser here. We will select a site that we're going to visit to that is near and dear to my heart, and I indeed hope that it is yours too. So our site, goodereader.com/blog. So you can see that the website loaded up pretty quickly here. It does support pinching, although you really have to give her in order for it to really pinch effectively. It's not like the iPad where a little flick will do it. With this one, it's kind of you really sort of have to give it some oomph and press down pretty hard. One of the things that we don't like is the Atom's inability to play YouTube content. As you can see here, you need to upgrade your Adobe Flash Player to watch this video, but you can actually update it. We hope that once the Genesis market comes and they allow for updates like that, we'll be able to see embedded YouTube content. So here's the Notion Ink Atom unboxing video, unable to play. A sad state of affairs. Alright, next we'll look at the camera, and to give you an accurate portrayal of how this looks, I'm going to turn off the light here and give you guys, hopefully you guys can all see this. It's very, very grainy. Let's shoot it to live video mode and try to get a flash happening. Alright, here we go. We're recording right now, and as you can see through the screen, you can't really, it's considered 3 megapixel camera. You can't really get a great version of this. You can see that the picture isn't really coming in that great. It looks a little bit better in person. The camera leaves a little bit to be desired for, upon playback of some of the other video that we did. It's not really rezzing out too well. Hopefully exactly what I'm filming here will accompany with this video, so you guys can actually check out how it looks on camera here and how it looks in person once we're recording. Okay, so that was the video mode, both camera and so on. You have your contacts list here. You know, you can see that you can create new accounts, you can import and export. Simply to see the menu, you press this button here, the little cloud button, and we can set up a new contact rather. And you can see first name, last name, home phone, email, organization. If you click more, you can add notes about that person. All that sort of detail information that you need in order to make a contact list. It allows you to actually import a list from a SIM card or SD card too. So that's handy. So next, let's look at the calendar application. So this is the calendar. You can see it's pretty, you know, it's averagely responsive. We can click here and get the default. You know, you can add your new calendar and stuff. Look at the top here. I want to kind of point that out. You can see how cut off that is. A lot of the Notion Ink applications are cut off by this black bar on top. It's the proverbial Android drop bar where you can see installed applications and so on. For some reason, and that black bar blocks like a lot of the content that you actually see, which makes a lot of important information that you may see on your Atom or headers or column information. If you're looking at spreadsheets, it's basically unreadable, so we hope that that gets fixed. Next, you got your sound recorder. So this allows you to record sounds, obviously. Hey, so let's record something. This is Marcus with Goodereader. And we can stop that and play it.
This is Marcus with Goodereader.
So the mic recording left something to be desired for there. We will discard that. You have your clock here, and this allows you to do such things as set the alarm, add some music, etc. So let's take a look at the alarm button. If you want to wake up at a certain time, you're more than welcome to do it here. So you can hit back. You know, it has the picture slideshow here, and it is indeed good. So you can have a slideshow going on while you leave the clock app going on. Also the music player here. You can see that when we imported an MP3 song, it automatically had the associated cover art. So we have the volume up a little bit here. The speakers are not too bad. We have it maxed, so it's not super loud, but it does the trick. From our experiences, the headphone jack is kind of weak. So far the most weak hardware things that we saw was the camera. And we also saw that, or we didn't see, but I'm letting you know that the headphone quality isn't that great either. Next, we'll look at the mailed application, which is the Notion Ink email application. Now you saw when we loaded, no software popped up, but it appears here under the leaf. So you can hold down this button and get like a view of the open programs that you have. So you can see it pretty responsive. This is the dual core processor in action. So you can look at some comments that people have left us on YouTube. Some random number says this is amazing on a previous Notion Ink Atom video. Thank you very much. So it looks like from what we've shown you so far that when we load up applications that Notion Ink has made, they often pop up here as leaves while other applications do not. You have a GPS sort of program here. It's a standard fare, OSM, and it's called. You can configure your settings and set, username and passwords. You could configure it to be like a background service or or not. It's similar to Google Maps in a lot of respects. When we first booted this for the first time, it kind of thought that we were like in China. So you can kind of see it kind of loading up. We found that this app itself takes a long time, even though that we're on a super fast Wi-Fi connection, and we also have 3G. It kind of takes a while for everything to load. So we'd probably want to install a better application such as Google Maps. We're going to hit the manual back button. Okay, so we kind of saw a bit about the GPS app. It really took too long for it to load to make it effectively evident in this video what it's all about. But when we checked it out before, we probably would have recommended a different application. A video player, it's about as simple as the music player that we showed you. You have your video list here. You can play back the video that we just shot here. So this is what we shot through the camera. So you can see that the resolution is a bit better. Sometimes it's hard to come across in a camera what's happening. But you can see that this is what we shot. It certainly looks a lot better playing it back than it did through the live preview. So let's look at the sniffer application. This is more or less Notion Ink's version of like File Explorer or different, Android file applications. So you can see we have our USB in here, and we do not have a micro SD, so we can check out what's happening on our USB drive. You can see here that we have, some APKs, Kindle app, Kobo app, some test documentation, and so on. So you can see that we have a doc here that we're going to open up in QuickWord. And you can see here that it's a test document. There we go. We can add to this document, and while we're on sort of QuickWord here, I want to let you know that for some reason QuickWord won't open on its own unless you open an existing doc file. For some reason, any of the OpenOffice software won't open unless you're actually opening up an existing app. So we want to kind of let people know that that's what we've encountered so far. And of course, the Office version that's on the Notion Ink Atom is right here, called Quick Office, and you can see its software suite here. Quick Word, Quick Point, Quick Sheet, Quick PDF, and so on. But when we click on Quick Word, it only asks you to try to find an existing file. It doesn't just open up the program and allow you to start writing for some reason. And it's like that with like Quick Sheet and everything else. So that's pretty off-putting that you just can't start writing like on a document or a spreadsheet. Here's the gallery. It's kind of animated the way that it does that. Here's an animated Nook symbol. We certainly dig the Barnes & Noble Nook here at Goodereader. So, sort of the way that you can expect the Picture app to work. Moving on, let's look at the next application, which is, next to search, which is really basic. Nimbuzz is an instant messaging client. It also allows you to do voice over IP, but in order to really take advantage of that, you have to buy some credits. So know to expect to have to purchase credits. But other than that, it imports AOL, MSN Messenger, Yahoo, and all sorts of the popular instant messaging programs, so you can add contacts here from various platforms. So that has something going for it. Canvas app is really cool. You see the interface that it comes in an easel. So that's our last existing thing that we made. We can click New. We can click Paint. And you can maybe see it here where it says Menu, Layers, Undo. You have different sort of paints. You can do opacity. So it really kind of allows you to have a lot of the standard photo editing and painting things that you would see like in a program like Photoshop and so on. So you can just use your hands to paint and so on. There we go. Of course, you have looked at a number of these so far. The calculator application. You can see it's much like the way that it blowed up was more like a scientific calculator. So we can expand it and do all of your quick number crunchings. And then we see it here as one of the leaves. So you can see that we do have a number of applications open. It's still running pretty quickly as far as all the menus loading. So of course you have your Facebook application, the Quick Office that we showed you. Let's show you how PDFs look. And we've had sort of this question from a number of people commenting on our blog and on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/goodereader. And although you can't open up PDFs, actually, ironically enough, within Quick Office, the only way to do it is to open Sniffer. Go to our USB drive. You can see here that we have the Black Book PDF. It says no preview, and it's Quick Office. And we have an EPUB book here that should be opened, but there's no supported application, no preview. There's no way to sideload ebooks into that Notion Ink Atom right now. So let's open this up. So you can see here that this is what a PDF looks like on the Atom. You can also read it in portrait mode. So let's zoom out here. So you can see it scrolls pretty fast. You can pinch and zoom. Now the ebook that we're looking at was not bold when we loaded it in, but for some reason it comes across as being bold in the PDF version. So if you want to know how PDFs look, that's how they look on the Notion Ink Atom. Now of course you can sideload in applications, which is a huge saving grace. We installed the Slide Market, which is the SAM 4.0, and with that we've installed Aldaico e-reading application, none of them in which allow sideloading of books, even though Aldaico has an import feature for importing EPUBs via a SD card. When we tried importing them via a micro SD card, even though we had a ton of EPUB books there, it would not import them. So it's either an error with Aldaico trying to import SD cards where we have a micro SD card in Atom, but it's not reading the SD card and it doesn't read the USB. So what we found is the Kobo application is the most effective application to read books. Although you can't sideload them, Kobo does offer a ton of free books. And you can see here that the page turns are pretty fast. You don't get the animations like you do on the iPad, but that makes, you know, basically the page turns faster, so you can see how quickly that we're going here. You also have options to adjust the font size, so you can make them smaller if you want to fit more text on the page. And yes, it does also read in portrait mode as well. So the Atom does respond to portrait and landscape mode pretty quickly. With the Kobo app, it has a little bit of lag with it, but when you're looking at it on like the main thing like this, it doesn't go into portrait mode. It's only when you're actually in particular applications, and a lot of applications will open in landscape mode and then the only way to view them is in portrait mode, and that's just one of the drawbacks that a lot of the Android applications found in various markets were designed for phones, which by default most of the time only are in portrait mode. So when you have a tablet, unfortunately, such as a bigger tablet, a lot of the apps won't really work that well with them. Hopefully that'll work and change with the Android 3.0 update, which is basically an OS that was designed exclusively for tablets. So we've given you sort of a crash course on some of the applications that we have here. You can see that the Atom, for some of its software flaws, even though we have a ton of things open, we have like pretty well everything open now, and the processor still runs pretty fast. If you have anything specific you want us to cover, please let us know. Send us an email at admin@goodereader.com. Give us your thoughts. If you have any concerns, feedback, you can feel free to reply to our blog posts or comment on our YouTube channel. And stay tuned to further videos on this. We've compared the Atom to the iPad and put them head to head, as well as turning things like to the Pixel Qi mode and comparing it versus e-readers. From our experience though, Pixel Qi works best when you're under direct light. It's not really meant for indoor reading to make it an e-reader, unfortunately. With some tablets that take advantage of Pixel Qi, especially the ones that we saw at CES, they really look good. in Pixel Chi mode, but unfortunately with the Atom you still see a lot of glare. But we will have videos posted really soon showing you how the Atom performs in direct sunlight with the Pixel Chi mode engaged. So for Goodereader, this is Marcus, and everybody take care.